Now, moving up the continent of Africa to Uganda, a country which has had its fair share of troubles between political instability, extreme poverty and the ravage of HIV/AIDS. GORUL has been active in Uganda for 30 years now, and last year I visited the Masaka district to see at first hand a housing project which is run by the organisation and which sees people who've been living in appalling conditions moving into homes which might seem pretty basic and Spartan to you and me, but believe me, for the people I met, it was like being handed the keys to a palace. The Masaka district of Uganda is 128 kilometres southwest of the capital Kampala and has a population of 831,000. Its major economic activity is agriculture. Masaka was one of the first districts in Uganda to be hit by HIV/AIDS. It's a beautiful part of the country, but chronic poverty and extremely poor living conditions. The GORUL housing programme has already transformed the lives of 14,000 vulnerable people. This is Ed's Namakula, and she has very kindly invited me in to have a look around her house. It really is just a tiny little straw hut. It's circular in shape and it's very traditional, but it's very tiny because she lives here with her husband and 8 children. Now there is no room. Just around the corner here from this mud wall, there is one mattress and there is a wire where everybody's clothes are hanging up. And anybody who doesn't fit in there sleeps here on the floor. And we are talking just clay and a couple of mats, there's nothing, and they must all squeeze up together because 8 children is a lot of people. 2 of them are old enough to go to school, so they're not all tiny. And then over in this corner is everything else. We are talking a kettle to boil water to make tea. There are lots and lots of lily cans for collecting water, and it's just impossible to visualise for us how somebody could live in these circumstances. This family's life will be totally transformed by their new house. No longer will water leak through during the rainy season. The problem of mosquitoes living in the straw roof and biting the children at night time will be solved. The family will have their own latrine and also a water tank outside the front door. Another beneficiary of this housing project is Agatha Nayaba-Sinda, a widow who moved to Uganda 30 years ago. She's paralysed and living alone, totally dependent on the goodwill of her few neighbours. Agatha can see her new house from her hut, and it will be fitted with ramps and low handles to facilitate her disability. It costs €4,000 to build one of these new houses. 1,000 have been completed to date, and there's a need for many more. Stephen mceneaney from Carrickmacross in County Monaghan is the project manager.
Probably the most difficult thing for us to do is to select which houses we should be having. But we would go to the community and we would ask them to identify for us who they feel are the most vulnerable people. So it's very much coming from the community. So each village would identify 10 people who they feel are the most vulnerable people. And then we would visit those people and verify that they are the most vulnerable people. And then from there, we would have a series of visits to ground truth, what we've been told, and then we would make a decision based on a series of visits.
As well as building houses, this housing programme also runs a construction skills course for young people orphaned by AIDS. People like Jamba, who's 22 and lives with his grandmother since both his parents died of AIDS. The participants learn everything from baking bricks to building a house.
Then from there they do the setting of the house, just like the normal would do the setting of the house. They set the house. As much as they don't have good background in education, but we teach them on how to measure and how to do the setting of the house. A simple house. So we raise the wall straight up, and then we go also to the roofing. And they also have to learn the concrete, how to make concrete of the house and the finishing.
Each course lasts 3 months, runs 4 hours a day, Monday to Friday, and at the end of the 3 months, the participants receive a toolkit and undertake a special challenge.
And we choose a house, a person within the community, their community, themselves actually, they choose the person they think is most vulnerable. It could actually be among themselves. They're among the trainees whom they think is more vulnerable. If there's a double orphan, as long as he has a land but he doesn't have where to stay, he's more or less a destitute, and that is the person they look up and construct for them a house. So they use some of the material that we have here, we reuse them actually, we kind of recycle, but we also back up because some of the stuff the program gives and they're able to construct something, the house for themselves. A reason being because they are going to need to keep in this community and they are going to be employed by this community. So we need to leave a landmark for them to see. When they are looking for a job and they say, yes, I'm one of the people who built that house. To leave confidence, it gives them confidence.
And a good example of confidence and contentment can be clearly seen in Alice Namwanda Stephen, who's already moved into her new house. Alice lost her husband to AIDS and she lives here with her children. So this is different from your old house.
Yes.
Your children like this house? They are happy.
So,
Are they?
so,
And you know, because your husband is dead,
yes.
so you look after your children on your own. It's a hard life, Alice. But you seem happy.
Yes. Yes. I don't know what to do.
Wouldn't it do your heart good to see the genuine happiness on Alice's face, and also to see young people acquiring skills that they can put to good use in their own communities? Now, earlier